Hello and welcome to an Apex Racing League race highlights video with me, Zephyr. This is round 16 of the Apex Racing Leagues, my fourth race of the championship since I joined. And the championship looks a little bit like this. So far, as I said, I've done 3 races. I'm currently in 12th. If I do better than the 2 people ahead of me, I can jump up to 10th. Mosby isn't in this race, so I can claw some points back on him, ready for the final 2 races of the season. Here we go then with the qualifying lap. You can see I have a provisional 3rd place with one of my first 2 laps. This here is my quickest lap of the qualifying. Everything's looking good so far, apart from this corner where I'm a little bit wide. Probably could have taken that slightly better. Brake at about 100. Down to 3rd, down to 2nd, down to 1st. Almost perfect that. Could have jumped the curb a little bit more on the right hander, get it tucked in, accelerate really early. Open the DRS, use half the curves down here. Some people are doing different things, some people are using all the curves down here. I just decided to use half on this straight, half on the next straight because they're both fairly long. Brake just after 150. Trail brake, absolutely perfect. Probably could have clipped that apex a little bit better. Lost a little bit of time there. We'll see what the sector 2 time is like. Oh, it's not great. We've gone very deep. Turn in anyway. That's actually worked out well for us. Braked a little bit too late. Had too much speed into the corner, but managed to get the car slowed down. Trail braking around the apex anyway. And that section was done very nicely. So we're about half a tenth down on our previous lap. It was I think it was a 140.0. Hussein is in the lead with a 139.0, but this sector does look very nice so far. Could have done that slightly quicker. I can tell you Hussein is on the option tyre, we're on the primes. Looks like we're a very quick time with 139.3. That puts us in 2nd place. The first of the prime runners. Hussein was on the options, everyone else was on the prime tyres, so I'm 3/10 quicker than anyone else on the primes. Let's go into the race. You can see everyone behind me on the primes. Hussein on the options. Having a look around. For some reason, the lobby decided to make itself night. All the practices that I've done with Fake Ghost Pirate, they were during the day. For some reason, this has put it in the evening. It does look like I've managed to get Hussein Kadwa into the first corner there. He must have had an awful start. So we're in 1st place now. Going to try and do a Vettel, pull out of the DRS zone by lap 3. Brake nice and early, hope we don't get round. Looks like Hussein's got all out of shape there. Proximity arrow went flying. He's still in 2nd though. Oh no, he has been overtaken by Lenios. It just took a while to update. Put it up to Rich, try and get down the straight, try and pull a greater than 1 second gap out. As I said, we don't want to be in the DRS range of the person behind by lap 3. So, braked fairly early there actually, probably could have braked a little bit later. Turned in far too early, had to take a second jab at it. Let's let Lenios catch us right up. Almost spun out there as well, that'll give him a little bit of traction on us. Down into... I braked a little bit early again. We're not very confident on the brakes, but Lenios has gone straight into the back of us there. Oh, and he's disconnected. I'm not sure whether he's rage quit there or whether he got a penalty or lost his wing or something. Not sure what happened to him, but I do apologise if I braked too early. I don't think I did. Being very cautious on the first lap with heavy fuel load. It was a very heavy bump. But Hussein Kadwa behind us on the quicker tyres. So in theory he should be trying to get past me before lap 3. But I am feeling fairly confident in my pace on this track. So we'll skip ahead to the end of this lap. No DRS of course on lap 2. That's not until lap 3. Ooh, we've locked the rears up there and slid out. We'll give him enough space, but it doesn't look like he's going to take it, so we'll take the 2nd apex. And we're still ahead. Take that out. Oh, very nice. Very nicely done. Back down to standard. Just concentrating a little bit too much there on the braking zone. Didn't manage to get it turned down before the corners. Huge screen freeze there. Wow, that's a massive screen freeze. That's about 3 seconds.
I've got the biggest screen freeze. What the f...
There's me
yep,
complaining.
Me too.
Looks like me and Smuffler getting screen freezers.
Me didn't seem to get it.
It's probably one of the biggest screen freezers that I've ever had, so I was in first place. It's dropped me all the way back down now to third place. I think that was roughly 3 seconds. Having looked at the stats after the race. Yeah, I was a second behind Amstel, who's a second behind Hussein, and I was a second ahead of Hussein. So that's very disappointing. I've lost 2 positions. And now I have to fight back past people who I'm fairly sure were slower than me, race pace, but that's fine. Towards the middle of lap 3 now, following Amstel round. Looks like Hussein spun out there. He's managed to collect it though. I don't think he'll manage to hold on to first yet. Amstel's in first. Amstel driving very well at the second half of the season actually. Got DRS on Amstel. Let's catch up to Hussein. Get it turned in nice and early, making sure not to cut the corner. And again, clipping the apex, running a little bit wide, not quite as wide as Hussein though, that lost him a lot of time. Really struggling on those option tyres, he should be much quicker, he should be doing 143s at this stage of the race on option tyres, whereas we should be doing 144s. He's just decided not to accelerate out of that corner, I nudged him. It's very frustrating for me. I got on the power, he didn't. I'm looking much quicker than him at this stage of the race. It's very frustrating, it's letting Vernie catch up. Yep, 145.1. At this stage of the race I would be looking to be doing 144.1s or 141.2s. Yep, yeah, 144.4, that's kind of the time I'd be looking at. It's very disappointing I'm stuck here behind Hussein, but with the DRS hopefully we can get past this lap. There we go, 9/10 of him. Take those corners absolutely perfectly actually. That'll get us slightly closer. He's locked up there. We're right next to him. He'll get better traction out of that corner. Put it up to Reg. Pull into the slipstream. Follow him down here. Use half the curves. Open the DRS. Should be able to get past him. He's very quick. He might have used all the curves. Brake early, just to give him a little bit of extra room. And he's locked up. He's gone deep, very deep. He's gone very deep. He's going to come back to the apex. I'll give him room. Slight tap there, and I've spun out. Not entirely sure how that's happened. Codemasters need to learn how to program games.
Hussein, you can't just stop on the apex of every corner. You did it like 5 times that lap.
Microphone muted.
Yeah, unmuting my microphone to complain at them on TeamSpeak. It's very frustrating. As you saw the lap before, a couple of corners, he just didn't accelerate out of the corner as quick as I wanted to, and I ended up nudging him. And then that corner, he kind of parked on the apex. I tried to go around him because he was far too slow. Tapped him a little bit. And the game decided to spin me out. In that situation, this is something that happens in F1. In that situation there is nothing you can do. Sometimes low speed collisions cause the car to spin out. Fortunately there is absolutely nothing you can do, you just have to live with it. So now I'm back down in 8th. I was in 9th, but Smuffler hit the bollard on the first corner, got a puncture, lost his front wing. That's another problem with this game. Sometimes when players hit bollards, they glitch out, and then anyone that hits them after that, the car either instantly explodes, or they lose their front wing and fly up in the air, something crazy. Here we are in 8th. It looks like we've closed up to Kiku, who's spun out anyway, so that'll definitely give us the DRS on him, I think. Which means that we can use the DRS to now pull away from him and catch up to, I think it's Silver Arrow ahead of us in the Williams. It is Silver Arrow 3. Yep, DRS. We got DRS on Kiku there after he spun out, which will let us pull away. He might get it into the next DRS zone. I think I'll try and push around this corner. I've got it all wrong. Gone deep. I'm doing the same thing that Hussein did the last lap. Kiku wasn't quite close enough to go around me. Get the DRS now, and I think I'll show him the outside. Oh no, he's got up the inside. I'll have to give him room. Pull back into the slipstream. Brake. Get the car turned in. Oh, I took 2 stabs at the turning there to make sure that I didn't cut the corner. I still got a corner cutting one. Oh, I got caught in the gutter there. Wasn't paying too much attention. I think I was angry at the fact that I got the penalty. Very nicely taken corner there. Perfectly taken around here. Leave one left wheel on the curb. Missed that apex by a complete mile. So sector 3, some good corners, some bad corners. That was awful. Cut the corner far too much and I turned in far too early. My fault completely. Looks like we're going to have to wait until the main straight to try and overtake Kiku. Racing Genius putting in a 1:44.1. It's a very nice time at this stage of the race. My best is a 1:44.4, and low 44s is the kind of time I'd be aiming at in clean air. Ooh, getting out of shape there in sector 1. I can tell you that that corner in particular is awful in the dirty air. There's almost no grip whatsoever. You have to let off the throttle. Lost the back end there. I was hoping to be able to overtake Kiku. Got a little bit too aggressive on the acceleration. Lost the back end unfortunately, but we still got the DRS. Closed us back up to try and make a pass down the next straight. Didn't get my downshifts there very well at all. Used the rest of the curves. Open the DRS up to Rich and back down again. And gets me a little bit closer. Might have to wait till the next lap unless Kiku makes another mistake. It is a shame to be stuck behind him, but he did pull off a very good pass down into the end of sector 2 a couple laps ago. Taking that corner very nicely. Well, that was taken very nicely too. Kiku's gone a little bit wide. That'll give me the opportunity to go off at the inside of him. Taking that corner perfectly. He missed the apex completely. And there we go, we're past. Taking that corner perfectly too. This might be a nice lap, despite the fact we had traffic. 1:44.5. Pretty close to our previous time. Racing Genius there with a 1:43.7. Definitely pushing the boundaries of what's possible on the prime tyres here. For us people in Split 2 anyway, Alex Gillen will probably be getting like 20 seconds. I exaggerate. But he definitely will be getting 1:41s maybe.
Watch out for the car chasing you. He's less than a second behind and will use DRS to overtake.
Use more curves than usual this lap actually. Try and pull away. I think we're going to try and defend our position into this corner. May leave us vulnerable into the next corner, but it doesn't look like he's managing to close the gap. Looking at the mini-map. And I've completely missed my braking zone. I'm not entirely sure what I was concentrating on. I can tell you that I decided to brake at 100 instead of 150. Which is not what you should do there. You should definitely brake at 150. Get it slowed down, get the car in front of him, claim the apex, and we keep the position. 3 seconds behind Silver Arrow now. Looks like there's 3 cars ahead of us. Hussein, oh, looks like Hussein Cadwell's having some issues. Silver Arrow's managed to get past him since we last looked. So there's 3 cars here. Hussein still on the quicker tyres, but he's lost so many positions since the start of this race. Almost deservedly, I would say, for how he was driving at the beginning of the race. He caused my crash. Absolutely no sympathy for him whatsoever. So we're going to skip ahead. Now I'm in the DRS zone of Hussein. Looks like I'll be closing him up here. Might see if I can get past him in sector 3 like I did to Kikusara. If I can manage that, that would be brilliant. He's got this section all wrong, so I've managed to close in on him by a lot. I've locked up slightly there on the curb. That's definitely not good driving. I don't think I was concentrating fully.
The car behind is on standard revs. Car behind is running standard revs.
Taking that corner a little bit wide. Hussein that's spinning out, back end. Oh, I went to turn in, realised Hussein was going to be on the apex. Had to go right round the outside, managed to get the position. So I'm up to 6th now. I need 5 more places to take. I'm fairly confident in my pace. So at this point of the race I was feeling like I might be able to get 3rd and get the 2 cars ahead of me, and then the one all on his own at the beginning of sector 2 there. because these two, I think it's Racing Genius, I know Silver Arrow and Fake Ghost Pirate up there, fighting with each other, slowing each other down. And what I was hoping was that first and second place might close in on each other and start holding each other up, and then I might be able to catch them as well. But at this point, my aim was to get third place, which I was fairly confident I could do. Smuffler's setting a 1:43.4, having pitted and gone onto the option tyres. It's a very nice time. He's all the way down at the back of the grid. It's a very disappointing race for him. I know that he's very close to a few people in the championship and could do with getting all the points today. At a 1:44.9. It's not a great lap by any stretch of the imagination. You might be noticing on the first corner of these laps I'm getting a bit of a weird graphics glitch. I've never played this track before at night. I'm not entirely sure why it is night, but it is. And me and a couple of the other drivers were getting issues on the first corner where we would get screen freeze, like a 1 or 2. We'd drop maybe 5 frames, something like that. It looks like Fake Ghost Pirate there has made a huge error. Let Silver Arrow in front of him, and we've closed in. Unfortunately, his split times don't work when he's in the races. Every lap the split gets slightly out of alignment, like a little bit more. So for example, after the first lap it might be 0.1 out, and then the second lap 0.2 out, something like that. So you can be, it can say that you're 9/10 behind him, but you're actually like 1.1 seconds behind him. So you think you're going to get DRS, but you actually don't. So there it says I'm 8/10 behind him. You can see he's clearly maybe 2.5, 3 seconds down the track from me as I spin the car out. That's rather frustrating. I think you heard me sigh in the background there. I've locked it up as well. This lap is going absolutely horrific for me. The final sector anyway. I've probably lost maybe 3 seconds now. Silver Arrow and Fake Ghost have already gone around that corner. Definitely lost about 3 seconds in this final sector. Usually I would want to pit on lap 16. I'm going to pit on lap 14, get the undercut, see if I can get the double lap undercut, catch up on these two ahead of me, but I have lost a bit of my wing. Kikusara is about 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds behind me there. My pit stop is going to be about 2.5 seconds longer than it should be for fitting this extra wing, which means that he should come out of the pits about half a second behind me, which puts him straight back in my DRS. It's a very good tactical move from him to follow me into the pits. But this is where this is the part of the race that I'm super confident about. During my practices with Fake Ghost, I was putting the car up to rich and just running rich until the end of the race, from now until the end of the race, without turning it down ever. And I was a good half second to a second a lap quicker than him in practice, which was very, very satisfying. So obviously the 5 people at the front of the track, now in sector 3, they're all yet to pit, so they'll probably come back out of the pit somewhere around where Hussein is in front of me, maybe a little bit further ahead. So now I just need to put in some very, very solid laps. I've got Kikusara behind me now. I think he might get the DRS on me now, which is really unfortunate. It's going to slow me down. I don't want to have to be battling at this stage of the race when I want to charge towards the people in front. Brake nice and early. Kikusara was nowhere close enough to try and make a pass. It looked like he outbraked himself. Flew off into the runoff area. Which should, yep, he's definitely over a second behind me now, so that should give me the opportunity to just drive away. Now that he isn't in my DRS zone. So that's comforting. Gone a little bit too deep there, but managed to keep it on the track. Get it out wide, turn in, cut the corner a little bit. Not sure I agree with that. I think the corner was taken perfectly fine. Very nicely taken corner there. Get this one the right wheel over the curb. Absolutely perfect. Now on for the first flying lap. 2 minutes is not a bad out lap. I think I was getting 2:01s in the practice races. So Hussein there with a 1:43.3. He's now on the primes, obviously fresh primes, and I'm on the fresh options, so I should be hoping to get 42s, 41s at this point. It says I'm 9/10 behind Fake Ghost, but as we've already figured out, I'm definitely not. He is a good 3 seconds up the track, maybe 3.5, 4 seconds. Skip ahead a few laps and see whether I've caught him. It looks like he's managed to get past Hussein Kadwar in front. I think he managed to do that on his outlap. It's very good from him. He came out behind Hussein and got straight past him, no fuss. And there we go, I've set a purple lap with a 1:42.3, whole 1 second quicker than anyone else so far in the race. And I'm already 3/10 up on it, taking that absolutely perfectly. Could have taken that a little bit tighter. Get the car slowed down, turned in, avoid the white line and accelerate over the curb. Absolutely perfect. You can see my steering's a little bit juddery. Because I'm using a pad, I can't be fully smooth. I like to think that I am a fairly smooth user of the pad though. Braked a little bit early for the options there. I think you can brake at around 130. I braked 150. Trying to be a little bit conservative so that I keep the car on the track. But I'm definitely pushing at this stage of the race with the rich fuel all the way around. I think I've worked out I can get rich fuel all the way to about lap 23, 24. 7/10 up on the previous lap. Little lock up there. It didn't seem to affect me too much. Cut that corner. That was a cut. That was my fault. Cut it a little bit too much. Get the car out wide. Brake in a straight line like Suzuka. Lock it up a little bit. That's very disappointing. But we managed to get it turned in and around. It's a very nice sector this actually. Taking that a little bit wide, but we're still on the power, so that's all well and good. Get this turned in. Left wheel still on the track. Absolutely perfect. Caught in the gutter there. It's a bit unfortunate, but we've managed to get it turned in without spinning it. That's over the line for a 1:41.8. It's the new fastest lap of the race. 2 laps in a row. Skip ahead then to the end of that lap. Oh no, just halfway around that lap. We've caught up to Hussein. I'm not sure we got DRS in that zone, but we will have it for this one. We are very close now. Use the rest of the curves. Take a nice tight line. Don't want to go out too wide to get into slipstream because I don't want the marbles. This track on that straight gives you lots of marbles. I'm not entirely sure what he was doing there. I turned the car into the apex and he decided to go wide. I think he may have been letting me through. He was either letting me through or just really struggling to get the car turned in. I managed to claim the apex and make the pass. So I'm now back into 6th. I was always going to get 6th though. He was on the prime tyres. I was always going to catch him. The main thing here is how many positions can I get now? We've got Fate Ghost Pirate and Silver Arrow fighting for 4th place ahead of me. And ahead of them we have, I believe it's Racing Genius and Amstel fighting for 2nd place. And then way off in the lead we've got Vernie driving a very good race. So at this point I'm thinking 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go. Sorry, my maths is awful. We've got 9 laps to go. Pretty sure I can get 2nd at this point. The rate that I'm catching these guys, I know that I can get 2nd. Just need to get past Fate Ghost Pirate and Silver Arrow as soon as possible and then chase down Amstel and Racing Genius who are fighting. So that's going to slow them down. It's a possibility that Silver Arrow and Fate Ghost Pirate might catch them by the time I catch them. If that makes any sense. So could have a 5-way battle going on, which would be very interesting to see. We'll make this race very interesting considering the start. I was very disappointed. I thought I was going to be right at the back. I managed to hang in there. I'm on for another quickest lap of the race, it seems. Taking that slightly wide. Usually you can full speed across that. There you go. If you see the split in the top there, it said I was 1.9 seconds ahead of Fate Ghost Pirate, which clearly isn't true. So we have to kind of figure it out. I think I'm within a second, so I should get the DRS on him down the next 2 straights. Or sorry, the 2 straights on the next lap. But for now, I just have to concentrate on nailing every apex, which it looks like I'm doing fairly well. Very nicely taken final corner. On the power, a little bit late. Still with the 1:41.5, which I can tell you was my quickest lap of the race. So here we are, skipping ahead a whole lap. Last lap I clearly didn't manage to pass Fate Ghost Pirate. slid out a little bit there, which is disappointing. I might miss out on the DRS this lap. Oh, I've taken that perfect. Taken that absolutely perfect as well. Might have closed the gap up to Fake Goes Pirate there to get the DRS. Accelerate over the curb to allow me to accelerate slightly earlier. And I've got the DRS. Brilliant. That should close me in. I think he's got a longer 7th gear, so he has much more speed down the straight, so I won't close in too much. Smuffler there with his fastest lap of the race with a 1:41.2 as Silverado goes wide and rejoins the track. Almost take him out. Managed to get the car slowed down enough to turn in a little bit extra. And I'm up to 5th. Now all I have to do is pass Fake Goes Pirate and I can close in on these two cars who we're catching. Oh, I'm 3/10 off on my time. Might be able to get myself a 1:41.2, so one course on this lap to beat Smuffler's time. Fake Goes Pirate is in my way though, it's very disappointing. I do quite like getting the fastest laps, a little bit like Vettel in that regard. Fake Goes Pirate is very slow around this 3rd sector, I found that out in practice. Not entirely sure why, but I just seem to have the legs on him here. Might be because of my gearing actually, I think he has his gears set higher than I do. So I get the better acceleration, he gets the better straight line speed. There we go, following him across the line, 1:41.8, still a very decent lap at this point of the race. Not what I was on for, the 1:41.2. And absolutely no grip whatsoever around following the car in the dirty air. Brake at about 100. Fake Goes has braked very early, and we've nudged him. Had to let off the throttle there to let him back through. Sorry, dude. Very disappointing there. Fake Goes Pirate braking much earlier than I do. Wasn't expecting it, and now it's put Silverado right in the back of us as I almost spin out on that corner. Very disappointing. Squeeze him to the edge of the track. Give him just enough room for it to get his car through. Very polite, like that. Still very aggressive. He brakes much later than I do. Gets it turned in. I've managed to get the apex on him there. Oh, he's nudged me. Whoa. I'm not entirely sure what he was thinking there. I managed to get my car fully ahead of his.
You did the same, man.
I turned into the apex and he just bombed up the inside. Not sure what he was thinking there. There was never any way he was going to make that work. Still got him behind me. This is a very frustrating part of the race. I've got the speed, I've got the pace to be past Fake Goes Pirate, who's already caught up to to Racing Genius and Amstel actually. As you can see, the 3 cars ahead are being held up by fighting with Silver Arrow. It cost me a lot of lap time. Very disappointing. Hopefully we can keep the position into this corner. Doesn't look like it. He's very close. He's got the DRS on me. I'll claim the inside, push him to the outside. Brake nice and late. Get the car turned in. He's braked much later and managed to get the car turned in very well. It's very good pass by Silver Arrow. Oh man, he was very slow on the power there. It caused me to have to get out of the throttle and then back in. And then I put the throttle on a little bit too hard the second time and spun out. It's very annoying. People in this race seem to be much later on the throttle than me around sector 3, which was very frustrating when you're trying to follow someone and they're just not getting on the throttle when you want them to.
If the car behind gets past, you just need to keep close to him. He has a time penalty.
To be fair, it's a good problem to have. It means that you're quicker than them, but it's very frustrating to have to compensate for. So I made a mistake there, similar to the mistake Kiku made earlier in the race. Looks like I've managed to get the car in there. Oh, he's tapped me on the side there. I'm not entirely sure why he did that. It's very similar to Racing Genius incident in India, where I was up on the inside and he just turned in. I gave him plenty of room on the outside, and he tried to turn in tighter. Fake Goes Pirate's now been following Amstel and Racing Genius ahead for a good few laps now. It hasn't managed to get past. Disappointing to see, because I know that on lap 22 I could have got past Fake Goes Pirate and maybe even be past these two already, chasing down Vernie, since that was 5 laps ago. I've been battling with Silver Arrow, but now we're clear of Silver Arrow. He's 1.5 seconds behind. As long as I don't make any big mistakes, should be able to close in on these guys ahead. So at this point of the race, I'm thinking there's only 1.5 laps left, and there's 3 people right ahead of me who I can take. Amstel's getting away a bit, so maybe I can just get these two. That would be an absolutely brilliant end to my race. Now there's only one lap left. And as you can see, as I was talking, I made so many mistakes in Sector 3. I'm still right on them. They're still struggling to get away from me. My fuel's down to optimal, so I can't run rich. It's very disappointing. But I'm doing it anyway. I'm gonna do it, leave the window open. As soon as it goes down to -1, I'll put it back to standard. Or lean even. Taking that much better than them. Might be able to get them into this corner. And again, Fate Ghost Pirate braking far too early for that corner. Taking it far too slowly. Almost hit him despite being maybe half a second behind him into the braking zone. Don't know whether he got it wrong there or just whether both of the laps that I caught up to him, that's just how he takes it. Yeah, they're very far ahead. I've got DRS into the braking zone. Looks like Fate Ghost Pirate's got the inside. Racing Genius gone wide. I've followed Fate Ghost Pirate through. We both might be able to take Racing Genius in one corner. Racing Genius completely ignoring the fact that I'm there and pushing me out onto the outside of the track. Oh, Racing Genius nudging me down the straight here. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing, what he's thinking. He's gone very deep. There's no way he's getting it turned in. He did. He got it turned into the corner. I have no idea how he managed that. Absolutely brilliant driving from Racing Genius. And he's managed to get the car right behind Fate Ghost Pirate. This is a very exciting final lap. He might be able to get past before the end of the race. I've taken that corner absolutely perfectly. And that one looks like I might be able to get past. No. Racing Genius claims the apex. He almost slides the car out. It looks like I've got ahead of him. Turn it in. Let him go around the outside. He's nudged me. It's almost spun me out. I've been hit by Silver Arrow coming back onto the track. Can only apologise for that. Let him through. Give him 4th position. I take 5th. Very exciting end to that race. 1 second behind Silver Arrow. Not 2 seconds behind Fate Ghost Pirate. And only 4 seconds behind Amstel. Brilliant race for me, considering on the fact on lap 4 I got nudged to the back of the race. So after that, that's bumped me up above Fat First and Jack First, who both retired from this race unfortunately, still suffering from major connection problems. So thank you for watching. I can only apologise for my poor performance. 5th isn't great. I'll look to do better next week when we take the Apex Racing League to America.